LEGO games have just about never been about the story associated to the movies or franchises they gussy up in. The story modes being edited versions of said media franchises is one point to that fact. Another would be the fact that the games practically open up once you beat the story mode, and then they become puzzle fests that make you question how exactly a child is supposed to even go about solving them. Then as time goes on and the puzzles run out, it's all about buying every character possible. And this is the point where you question if a teen would be this completionist and your reflection begins to look properly obsessed. Also, one other thing. I can't seem to remember what it is though. Hang on, let me go down my list. I want you to think of a memorable story in a LEGO game. You just thought of DC Supervillains, Incredibles, or LEGO City, didn't you? These are but a few of the memorable titles, and that's not just because of the fact that they're literally a movie, multiple comics, or Baby Timothy's GTA Duplo disaster. It's because they change just how we interact with the LEGO worlds we inhabit, because they're quite grand. City lets you play as an undercover cop with various disguises, pretty much canonizing any character swaps you made in-game. DC Supervillains canonizes the player themselves, linking whatever you look like at the time to the story mode and making you the main MacGuffin for a video I want to make later. LEGO Incredibles is just the latest one that I remember being advertised before I had to go looking for this stuff myself, not including the Kid Icarus video I saw about LEGO games a while back. I can only imagine how they refined certain things from the Super games into the Parahuman scheme, because when you think about it, every ability from their world is in DC and Marvel heroes. I can even go all the way back to Clone Wars with the amount of games that LEGO has, because playing that game back when I would puzzle hunt with my brother actually felt like we were playing a war game at random points. The massive sprawls of people could be controlled by you, and giant mechs could be taken down or summoned into a fight. Look, I know it was clunky as all hell, but it was fun to control like 50 other droids just because I have a few painted on accents and a radio. It was cooler with the clones because at least then I could play as Rex and use dual hand blasters. These would all come into play for the massive tales that would need to be told. Back in the Clone Wars, you effectively had to cram a weekly Friday night cartoon into one big multi-planet campaign and several kind of mid-hub worlds because Star Wars planets. The hub worlds for LEGO games was, and to me still is, the pinnacle of the LEGO experience. Next to that one thing that I can't seem to remember, but later, being able to see just what the hell I probably saw as a child when I would dump out my LEGO boxes to build stuff for several hours. They combine all the set pieces they can to make a big, semi-cohesive world for the player to roam. In some cases, like with LEGO Batman and Indy, you'll need to navigate these areas for missions and need to clear areas in order to progress. Sometimes the actions of the story or character you use can follow you to certain areas, affecting how non-player figures act around you. Best example I have here is with the Skywalker saga and its complete star map. If you go to a Resistance planet and play as Sith or a bounty hunter character, civvies run from you and roaming armed guards will accost you. Same for Sith-controlled areas with the Jedi just bulling around him. That's just one part though, because these maps are filled with more stuff to find than the actual game levels most times. Mini kits will be hidden in spots, secret red bricks with special abilities like stud multipliers, foot and vehicular races can take you all across towns and spaces. Characters to buy will actually walk around. Some of these characters nowadays will even ask you to do stuff for their aid in the future, which basically just translates to letting you buy them or just giving you a free character for your troubles. This segment started as a small listing, but as LEGO games get bigger and cover more ground, finding every character and character variant becomes a goal to me in itself. The cast list for these games gets absolutely cartoonish in size. I think LEGO games are one of the few games that can have a clown car meme as its casting call and wear that as a badge of honor. I would also just like to say that if you play a LEGO game and can't find a single character type that you like, I'm gonna need you to uninstall Fortnite. Dead ass. We'll get to that one in a sec, little Caden. The characters in these games are made with the puzzles in mind, and I like that because it gives these copy characters actual utility. There's so many heroes and villains in the DC and Marvel worlds that do exactly the same damn thing. Let me tell you, acrobats, flyers, elementals, spies, people that cut stuff, and even random villains just going through their Joker arc. They not only look different, but sometimes come with different combinations of abilities needed for puzzle solving and combat. Seriously, in a world of superheroes, of course the LEGO team finally decides, yeah, we can have laser bolts instead of just bullets now. I think it's time. We've made a Star Wars games. You know, the DC and Marvels, that they're not too big on guns that shoot bullets, so we should probably stop doing that instead of just the Star Wars route of how many lasers do you want? Do you want them to hit that target way over there? Or are you trying to just have them be a sword? DC says bullets, quote unquote, can be used for more than just targets, letting you have heat rays, freeze rays, light, darkness, and even sick bassy drops. All of which can be used to get through different puzzles and obstacles while exploring. You may think you don't need that version of Iron Man that's just Tony Stark with his, chest core exposed, until you realize he's what pushes your LEGO Marvel superheroes to literal Iron Man forward by hacking panels for you. Also, the Iron Man he suits up into is the one that you like so much because it has energy rockets. Why do I need Negan if I have John Jones? There is a big difference between a green Martian and a white Martian, and you would know that if you watched Young Justice. There's so many characters that these games had to evolve over time. Moving around and getting through these games has become a bit of a pastime to me, just off of the amount of ways to do things they packed into these games. For the most part, the Star Wars are bound to the ground, but man, do they got vehicles. DC's, don't even get me started on the amount of Bat and Joker mobiles I've driven, no Rocksteady. Driving around in these games is sometimes more fun than teleporting, just off the fact that more things happen to you. Random events can pop up like crimes in a Spider-Man game. See what I did there? You could see something that pulls your attention away for rewards you didn't even know were promised. And since I brought up the heroes with Spidey, it broke the mold of travel to me when we gained the ability to fly around the hubs. Like, why bother with a car? I can go screw gravity, thwip, or just walk. Fast as fuck, boy! This was all before we could sprint in a LEGO game, which still doesn't move as fast as flying or driving, nor does it compare to the idea of the star map. That's right. We fly too. Most recent hub world that I know of, being the Skywalker Saga, again lets you explore space. You can do races around the planet and in the space around it, get into dogfights to help take over the sector for supremacy and free flight, find characters that require your help with tasks that can take you to other planets, unlock more ships and characters to do missions and run around traversing planets with. Again, this is the stuff you can do before you land and during the story mode. That's insane to me. Usually there's like stuff you can do, but not two whole avenues for them, each with their own types of events that make you want to swap from piloting a story character to piloting a rebel cruiser through Sith space for a battle. Oh, and before I forget, the dogfighting is always at war with the gunfighting as far as fun now too, as this is the second LEGO game to be hit with the cover fire bug. Only this one comes with a dedicated aim feature that reactivated my TPS brain with a camera zoom. You can hide behind cover, pick up guns that are lying around, and even book it to turrets and other weapons hidden in the field. I never thought that a trooper could be its own category in a Star Wars game. But hey, call me a bitch because I love these cannons. Now, let me contrast all of this with what the latest game from the LEGO teams is. So Fortnite is a battle royale, and by this point, I refuse to explain what that is in detail. So, too blasé, don't play. Bunch of peeps get dropped into a space. Place is filled with weapons and ammo. One person walks out. Simple. Now, when they announced LEGO Fortnite, TBH, I didn't care. I kinda still don't. The only reason I do now is because I need to know what the heck it is. As of about a day ago writing this script. Well, really now it's like June 14th, so it was like, a week ago? At first I thought they just took some of the building and powers from the LEGO engines and put them into a separate game node for Fortnite. That, or they made like a Save the World reskin where you battle against LEGO monsters while building a shelter that progressively gets bigger and wider. It's Don't Starve. It's LEGO Don't Starve with the Fortnite upgrader and placement system. You literally just play till you die. They have mobs, permadeath, and even hunger. Like, why is this a thing? Who wanted this? You could have done so much with this since you can already build Big Ben in this fucking engine, and that to me is still unreal. Oh, I get it. Wait a minute.
Looks like Reyrzy shot worst. Funny joke.
Wait, I just remembered that other feature. It's actually really important to the concept of LEGO games. Create a figure is the biggest feature of any LEGO game, more than the levels, more than the hub worlds. One of my favorite LEGO games to this day bases the story around the cack you make, literally putting you, or whatever minifigure machination you come up with, into the story. Every character you buy and collect can be deconstructed and have their parts copied onto you. Subsisting drip into yourself is almost the main goal of the game once you get to the create a character segment. All kinds of things can be stuck onto or into you as you customize clothes, accessories, hats, weapons, powers, and even alignment. Who needs to make another goody-goody to add to the horde of heroism when you can make a vigilante with access to spots in-game you otherwise didn't have before? The range of how you could make characters and how they interact with the world only got bigger until it hit its peak in DC supervillains, effectively canonizing you, the player, in the LEGO world as you get to customize your character as the story goes on, gaining more and more powers and abilities to choose from on the customizer screen, which constantly reappears whenever you grow in power. Best part is, if you ever get bored with certain abilities, there was no need to customize them out. You could just make another character. In fact, why not just make 8? Make a superhero with a gun that can fly and turn invisible. Make a bounty hunter who favors working for the Republic but uses their connections to get you around. Built a product line of drones made specifically for combat and puzzle solving, each one named after one of your friends. Hell, use the same damn name scheme from Star Wars 2 while you're at it. Because that's what I did back when The Force Awakens. I wish that was on Switch, but nah, my drones are all lost to the flood. If you ever wanted to be like the Jevil, here's step 1, because with the create a character, you could do anything. Seriously, like in LEGO Batman, you could basically have every form of a gun and still be able to puzzle solve no problem. The one thing that sucks about this was that there was no customizer in the Skywalker saga. The one place that benefits from having it, because I want to make astromechs, damn it! The one reason why I would want to collect 4 different versions of Palpatine isn't to see his skin get scarred when he goes from Senator to Chancellor. It's to get his black cape because I want to put that on instead of the red one. I have every clone trooper because I want to make my own clone trooper by switching around uniform parts and helms. I have every astromech and service drone because I want to make my own color mixes to make my very own 06A2 Proto-Oizy or 6Viv-T2. You get it? 6Viv-T2?
Oh, brother, this guy...
It wasn't until I was presented with a LEGO game that didn't have one that I saw how much I would miss it. I just hate that it's the franchise that I specifically want to make minifigures for. There was mod support for this specific reason, but Disney put the boop bop stop on that hard. Don't know if we can blame Nicolino Ratatouille for this, but considering how they get about copyrights, they probably don't want us doing the safe version of running around the park in costume, lest our headcanon for the movies involve letting Captain Phasma glass Yavin 4 and all of its inhabitants with the Star Killer. Why is it that the game has it all? Cover fire, third person, lightsabers, multiple movie-wide storylines, some of which can be condensed into levels by themselves. Yet I can't make my own drone to open doors and tase other droids with. Seriously, I can't get at least a creative clone where I get to shuffle around the armor parts and weapons of a trooper? For real, The Incredibles had a character customizer where you could make your own parahuman. Why can't I make a clone trooper Jedi Sith bounty hunter? I'm not asking for a full-on ship builder where every brick gives me a new thing. I don't need 5 different versions of Rey, Finn, and Kylo if I can't take some of the subtle diffs from those copies and put them onto my own character. Why would I ever need every droid ever when I can just get a commander? Now I have droid access everywhere and can tell roving packs of them what to do. Thanks for listening. It's honestly a travesty that unless we get several good Star Wars movies, that we probably won't get another character customizer anymore for Far, Far Away Space. LEGO Star Wars was my first LEGO game ever, and I'm sure the first dive into them for a lot of people, actually. Not being able to make your own minifig feels like part of the creativity towards the series that's been in it since the beginning has been like chipped out. Seriously, every LEGO game has a character creator or just an editor of some kind, so that way it feels like your copy is more personalized. No Mario? Hit the like button if you like this rant topic. Share this with other gamers who think it's significantly bad to cut out the personal creation center of the creativity game. If you think the games are better without the cacs, there's a comment section. Explain yourself this instant. Subscribe to see what I come up with in the way of B-roll vids. And lastly, until whenever I post next, I still want to make astromechs, damn it. I want to make a whole line of these, give them different color schemes, beat tones, accessories, backstories, and call them the ATE4M.
Tagwa, Nitusawa Bruna Patmel Adi Rancor. Imon La Duta. Udais Hanopa Renachukalo Opacha.
You're looking for Malakili? He's the boss of this here restaurant, but we're not open yet. Why don't you come back later? Sure he'll be happy to talk to you then.
Malakili has fled and attempted to open a restaurant? How humorous. Let's go take him in. That's the deserter, and he is selling desserts. Create the relevant joke yourself. Let's capture him.
Welcome to the Crystal Moon Restaurant. May I take your order?
The only orders you should be taking are from Jabba. You have forgotten your place. You're coming with me, deserter.
What? But, Jabba's barge exploded. With him on it.
Forgot that I was
Just kind of
muted that whole
assumed that meant
time.
he wasn't around for me to work for anymore.
Wait. Computing. If Jabba is no longer present, then who will pay me for all this fantastic bounty hunting I've been doing?
Oh. You were... Oh, wow. This is awkward.
Oh, I can give you a complimentary tato wrap.
So, what now?
Did you know about this? If Jabba is gone, then there's no need to bring in Malakili. He can be left to his potatoes. You assisted me in my task, yet we reaped no reward. To repay you for your help, I shall offer my assistance in any task you see fit.
That's awesome. Let's not tell him that I was the one that killed his boss, okay? Okay.